Okay, so this is a quick demo of the site you are going to build by the end of this tutorial. Alright, so this is the home screen where you have your image, the home image first from the TMDB API, and then you have other movies. This is the now playing movies. You can scroll, and then you can also go to the top rated movies, popular movies, upcoming movies, and also if you click on a particular movie, you will go to the particular movie page. Yeah, so this is Thunderbolt movie, and you can see the star rating, the year it was released, the minutes, the total minutes, the category, and then a brief movie description. Also, you have a more details page where you have the status, the release date, and other information. And then down here you have similar movies. Now if I click on this watch now, you'll be taken to the YouTube page where you will see the trailer of the movie. Yeah, alright, so now the next thing I want to show you is this get AI movie picks. It allows you to get AI movies. Let's say you don't know the movie you want to watch, so the AI movie picks is going to get a movie based on your move. So if I click this, I'll be required to sign in. I've already signed up already. If you don't have an account, you can sign up, but I already have an account which is stored here in MongoDB. Alright, so I just need to sign in using let's say John, and then test as the password. Then if I sign in, you can see this John Doe here. I can click on this get AI movie pics. If I click on this, I can also see my information here, help center, settings, and I can sign out. But if I want to get the AI movie, I can just click on here. And now, what is my favorite genre? I can click on let's say romance. Next, what is my current mood? Let's say I'm feeling romantic. And then next, my preferred decade, the 2020s. And next, preferred English, the preferred language, I'm going to click on English, and then I will click on next. What is my preferred movie length? I just want a standard movie length, and I'll click on finish. The AI is going to generate the image. As you can see, this is AI recommended movies, Anyone But You, Marry Me, and other recommended romantic movies. So if I click on this Anyone But You, I'll be taken to the Anyone But You page where I'm going to see all the information of Anyone But You, the release date, and other movies related to it. So you're going to work on this project using React for the front end, Node.js and Express.js for the back end, MongoDB for the database, and for state management we are going to be working with Zustand. Also, to get the AI stuff, we are not going to be using anything that requires us to put our credit card or anything that requires you to pay. You are going to get everything for free. I'm going to show you the best AI you can use for absolutely no payment, no credit card. I'm going to show you in this video. Alright, and also the GitHub repository for this video, for this tutorial, for this project, I'm going to add it in the description, all for free, so that you can follow along without any payment. So now what I want you to do is just help me like and subscribe so that YouTube can push this video up for other people so that they can see the video in their recommended section. Yeah, so thank you, and let's jump right in. Okay, so now I have my empty VS Code set up. This is just an empty VS Code with a folder I created, Netflix clone. So the next thing we have to do is, inside this our root folder, which is Netflix clone, we are going to create two folders, one for the front end and the other for the back end. The front end, we are going to work on the UI and everything concerning the front end using React.js, and then for the back end we are going to be using MongoDB and Node.js. So let us create the two folder. We'll name this one backend, and then we'll create another one. We'll name it front end. So we are going to be working on the front end first before moving to the back end, because we are going to be working on this together. This is a full stack project, so that's why we are going to work on the front end first before we enter fully into the back end. So the next thing we are going to do is we're going to install Vite. So to do that, we're going to press Ctrl J on our terminal and say npm create vit at latest. Or we have to do this in the front end folder, so let me copy this. And so I can just cd to the front end, and then I paste npm create vit at latest to make sure that this vit is in our front end folder. So when I click on enter, I'll come back here, click on enter, and as you can see, vit is going to be created. So we need to install create vit 6.50. Click on Y, then you click on enter. The project name, we want it to be in our front end, so we're going to use a full stop, just like this. We don't want any name, we already have the front end name. Click on enter, select a framework, go down, click on React. So we're going to be using React, enter, and then we're going to be using pure JavaScript. So they say the next thing we're going to do, as you can see, everything I've entered here, you can see everything. That's how fast vit is. And then we can just say npm install Now that we have vit set up our React code for us, the next thing we have to do is, as you can see here, is to run npm run dev. So we're going to type that in our terminal, npm run dev. Then you click on enter. This is going to set up a local environment in localhost 5173. Alright, as you can see, http localhost 5173, and then you can control click, as you can see, follow link, control and click on this, and you'll be taken to the link in your Google Chrome or any browser of your choice. So as you can see, vit plus React is set up successfully, and they have this simple count application here for us. So to edit this, we have to go to source/app.jsx. So let's find that. This is our source folder, and this is the app.jsx. So we can just close our terminal. To close it is the same way you opened it, Ctrl J to use to close it. So we can just Ctrl A everything, then you remove it there, and then arrow FCE to bring out, if you don't have this extension to bring out a boilerplate, you can just go to this extension tab here, then you search for ES6 or something, ES6 snippet. Yeah, this one, ES7 plus React/Redux/React Native snippets. This is the one that I use, so it's really nice. I recommend it. Alright, so for this one now, you can just go back to our application, then you save. Once you save and you go back here, you are going to see this app here. Alright, now the next thing is, in this application we're not going to be using CSS at all, so you can delete this app.css, and for this one we can get rid of every single thing inside here, but we're going to be needing it. Just get rid of everything first. I'm going to show you why we're going to need it and how we have your plain application. Let's go back to our app.jsx. Let's see if we can style this using Tailwind already. So let's say to style in Tailwind, you are going to use class name, and then let's make the text bigger. Let's say text-3xl. Then you Ctrl S. Let's see, nothing worked because Tailwind is not installed. It doesn't come automatically installed in vit, unlike Next.js. So we have to install it separately from vit. So that is why I have this tab open here, installing Tailwind with Next.js. With vit. So you can just go here to check it out yourself. tailwindcss.com/docs/installation/using-vit. Alright, so to the next thing, we're going to copy this npm install tailwind css tailwind css/vit. Copy this and go back. Open your terminal using Ctrl J. You can close this pressing Ctrl C, Y, enter, and then you can paste the code here. npm install tailwind css at tailwind css/vit. Then you wait a while for it to be installed. Alright, now that it is installed, the next thing, we can actually just start our server back by npm run dev. Then you click, I made a mistake. Let me just clear this cls npm run dev. Click on enter, and then you can close your terminal back. So let's go back to our Chrome, our browser. Let's check the next thing. So the next thing, we have to import, we have to go to our vit.config.ts or js, import tailwind css from. Let's just copy this, and then we'll go to our vit.config.js. You come here, you paste this, and then you go back. The next one, which is this plugin, you copy it, you come here under this one, you paste it. Now you can get rid of this. You come here, comma, then you paste it here, just like this. And then let's go back for the next thing. Now this is why I said you need your css, that index of css. You don't need to get rid of that one because you are going to need to add this thing at the top of the css file. So you go to your index.css here and you paste it here, just like this. Ctrl S. Now let's go back here, and we have this as text-3sl. So let's save this, come back to our application, and then you refresh. Let's see whether it worked. As you can see, it's got bigger. We can also test more styles. Let's try to make this green. Text-green-500. As you can see, it's got green. You can see it. Alright, so the next we are going to work on is we are going to work on our navigation bar. That's what we're going to work on next. So we'll go back to our code here. In this source folder, we're going to create a new folder which we're going to call component. This folder is going to house all the components we're going to use in building this application. So in this component, we're going to create a new file. We're going to name this navbar.jsx, just like this, and then as usual awayfce, just like this. Now if we save this and go back to our application, you're not going to see anything. That is because we haven't added it into our application. It is in our application, but we haven't added it to make it show. Like, this navigation bar is not going to render unless we add it into this app.jsx, and even this app.js is not going to render unless we add it, which Vit added this for us here directly. So React works in, like, you must follow a particular pattern. In main.jsx you add this app.js. In app.js you must add the navbar.jsx for it to work. So we can just come here. We're going to replace this with the navbar. This is it. Make sure you import it from /component/navbar, and then you close the component, just like this. And then let's see. Now as you can see, the navbar collected the styling which we gave it because that is a parent styling. So we can get rid of this. We don't need it. Just like this. Let me remove everything. Now to go back to our navbar, we can click on this navbar. We're going to get back to our navbar. Now for semantic HTML stuff, we're not going to use the div, we're going to be using the nav. Yeah, just like this. And then inside we're going to have a label. Just this one is just like, we're just using this. We're going to change it to our Netflix logo, of course, but let's just name this logo. And then after this one, we're going to create an unordered list with 7 list items. So list item times 7, just like this. Then inside this list item, we're going to have the home. We're going to have the home, and then the TV shows. We're going to have movies. Let me just copy the remaining ones. Going to have anime. We're going to have games. We're going to have new and popular. And finally we're going to have upcoming. Now let's save and let's check what we've got. As you can see, we have the logo, the home, and everything. Now under this unordered list, we're going to have a div which is going to house a search bar and 2 buttons. So let's create that div, and then under this div we're going to have another div which is going to contain only the search bar. Yeah, so this is going to contain the inputs and type of text, a placeholder of search. We can just add ellipses here, and then under these inputs we're going to have the search icon. So let me just write it here just for reference sake. We're going to get back, this is just like the structure, so we're going to work on it later. Then under this div for the search icon, we're going to have 2 buttons. So we'll have button times 2. Yeah, the first one is going to be let's say get AI movie pics, just like that. Get rid of this extra space. And the second one is going to say sign in, and let's check. Alright, so this is nice. So I think this is like the base of what we're going to have as the navigation bar. We are going to add some things after, of course, but this is just what we're going to start with. This is like the base code for the search bar. So the next we're going to do now, we're going to work on the styling. So we're going to use Tailwind CSS for the styling. Alright, so for the navigation bar, we're going to be dealing with a black background. So give it a class name of bg of black, then a text of gray of, let's say, 200, flex, justify between, item center. Let's just see what we have for now. Let's see. Okay, this is okay. We're getting there. So we can give this a height of, let's just give it a height of 20, and you see that everything might overflow. Okay, yeah, as you can see, it's overflowed, but we're going to fix that. But I prefer the height to be that 20. And then you give this let's say you should have a small text on mobile screen, and then for medium screen it should have a text of 15 pixels, just like this. And then give it a medium font dash medium, and a text of no wrap. Okay, let's see. All right, it's got that medium type of font. All right, so the next one is we're going to work on this list here. So back here in our ul tag and on other list tag, we're going to give it a class name of, it should be hidden on mobile screen sizes. and then for extra large screen sizes it should be flex, and give it a space in the x direction of give it a space in the x direction of 6. So let's see what we've got. Yeah, as you can see, this is already looking nice already. For a search bar, for a navigation bar, it's already looking nice. And then for this individual links, individual lists, or individual nav links, so we're going to give this a class name of cursor of pointer, and when this is hovered, you give this a text of, for adding custom custom tags or custom design in Tailwind CSS, we use the square bracket. Right from here, I forgot to explain it at this point. Yeah, in case you want any pixel, you use the square bracket to indicate what you want. So that is what I want to do here. Instead of giving it a predefined color like this text grade 200, if I want a custom color, I'm going to put it inside a square bracket. Alright, so I'm going to name this E50914, just like this. Control S, and when I hover around this one, you can see it's got that. So I'm going to copy this and paste it in the remaining one, so that all of them is going to have that feature. So you copy this, paste it here, 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 just like this. Control S, and then when you hover around all of them, you get that. Yeah, that's nice. So the next one we're going to work on is this div with this search icon and then these buttons. So this div will have a class name of flex, class name flex item center space x of 4, and then you make this relative, just like this. Let's see, perfect, looking nice. Alright, and then this div with the search bar, you are going to give this a class name as well. You make this relative as well, and make it hidden for mobile screen sizes, hidden. And then for medium screen sizes, you give this inline flex. Yeah, just like this. That's nice. And then for this input here, we're going to give this a class name before the placeholder. It doesn't matter though, but I just prefer putting it before the placeholder. Give this a bg of hash 333333, and then you give it a padding in the x direction of 4, padding in the y direction of 2, a rounded of full, a minimum width of 72, and then padding in the right direction of 10, and an outline of none, just like this. Yeah, perfect. This looks nice. Now for this search icon, we're going to come back to it, but for now let us go to our two buttons first. So for this first button, give us a class name. This button should have that reddish Netflix color, so we're going to give it that color. So we're going to give it the same color with that hover text. So we can go here and copy this reddish color, you paste it here, and you close the square bracket, and then give it a padding in the x direction of 5, padding in the y direction of 2, and then since the background color is red, then the text should be white, and then give it a cursor of pointer. Yeah, just like this. Let's see what we've got. Perfect, this is nice. Then for this sign in button, this sign in button should be like a variant, it should be like an outline variant rather. So you give this a class name, and then you say border, and a border of color hash 123 123, just like that, and then py of 2, padding the y direction of 2, padding the x direction of 4, and then cursor pointer, just like this. And here we have this border color around it. All right, now for this search icon, where I usually get my icons, which is lightweight, is lucid .dev/icons. So to install this, we are going to be, okay, let me just search for the icon first. Search. So this is the icon I want, so I can click on it, and then I'm going to copy the JSX, and I'll come back to my code here and replace this with the search icon. Then I cannot import it because I don't have lucid installed, so I can close my terminal and then npm install lucid-react. Now that it has been installed, I can start up my server again, npm run dev, and I can close it back. Now if I come here and control click on this, I should see search from lucid-react, and then import it, save, and you will see the icon. This should change. Let me refresh. As you can see, we have the icon here, but now we don't want this icon to be outside, we want it inside this search bar. So we don't want this icon to be outside, we want it inside the search bar. So how do we do that? That was why we made that div relative, so that we can add the absolute value, the absolute attribute to the class name. So we can go inside the search bar now. We are going to give it a class name of absolute, and then give it a top value of 2 and a right value of 4, and also we're going to give it a width of 5 and a height of 5, just like this. Ctrl S, and let's come back, let's see what we've got. Yeah, inside the nav bar successfully. And I think for now this is okay. The only thing missing here is this logo, and I'm going to get the assets ready so that we can also use other assets in building the application. Okay, for the assets, I'm going to make this GitHub repository public. So what I'll do is that I'm going to add the images in the assets folder. What you have to do is to go to the GitHub link, and then you check the assets folder, and from there you can download the images if you want. So let me put the I just have, it's just a few assets. We're going to work with live API, so we don't really need much assets, just the logo and some hero icons. We're going to be using the hero icon as the card image. So yeah, so for that, now we can go to our logo here, and then we're going to get rid of this totally. Instead of a label, we're going to be using a link, and we don't have that link yet. Because we haven't set up routing, so we're going to do that in the next part. So yeah, we have the image here, and the source, we're going to change this, because this, we did not put it in a public folder. If we had put this logo.png in a public folder, then we can access it like this, but we didn't put it in a public folder. So I'm showing you two ways on how you can add images in React. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I take this logo.png and add it inside this public folder, move it there, and then I save. if I go back to my code here, it should work. Let's see. Logo.png. This should work. Okay, I think why not is working is because of this link that we haven't created yet. So let me get rid of that, and let me refresh. Yeah, as you can see, the logo will work because it is in the public folder. But if I remove it from this public folder and put it back inside this asset folder, and then I save, you will see that this image is going to go away. Let's see. As you look at, there is no image there. That's because it cannot fetch it directly from the assets folder. In order to access the image from the assets folder, we have to import it like this. Import logo from dot assets logo png, and then we're going to come here. Instead of adding it like this, we're going to put a curly braces, and then you pass in the logo here, just like this, and then you Ctrl S, and let's immediately you got the logo. So now we're going to style this logo. Cursor the pointer here, that is okay. We're going to give this not a width of 32, we're going to give it a width of 24. We're going to remove the height, we don't want to specify any height, and then we're going to increase the brightness to of 125, should be okay, and then let's save and let's see. Yeah, so I think this is nice. So with this, we are done with this navigation bar. After this one, we're going to be working on the hero section, which is this part here. We're going to work on the hero section, and yeah, that's it for this navigation bar. For the hero section, we're going to go back to our code editor here, and we can right click on this and then close all, so that we have a clean working environment. The next we have to do is to create a new component inside this components folder. So I'll just come here, then I'll click on this icon to create a new file, and I can name it hero.jsx, and then arrow a FCE for my basic component. Now if I come here, I'm not going to see anything. Like I said before, we have to put it inside. This is a child component, you have to put it in a parent component for it to show. So if we go to app.jsx, it makes sense for us to put it here. Let's see, and then we can import this, control and space, then you click on it. So when I save this, I should see hero. Yeah, you can see the hero text there. Okay, but right now this hero section, this hero component is meant to be in the home page, not in the entire file root folder or something like that. So we need to put this hero section in a home page. So for that, we have to create a new folder inside this source. We're going to call the folder pages, and then inside these pages we'll create a new file. We'll name it homepage.jsx, just like this, arrow FCE, then homepage. Now this homepage, we're going to take it back to this app.jsx, and instead of this hero section, we can get rid of the hero section, and then you put in the homepage. Yeah, make sure you import that as well. Then we can clear out this, we don't need this, just like this, and then we can come back here. You are going to see homepage. Now for the hero section to show, you can control click on this to go back to the home page, and then inside here you are going to add the hero section. Just like this, and then we have the hero section which resides in the home page, and the home page resides in this our root component, the app.jsx. Alright, so back to our hero section. This is where we're going to create the hero section, of course. Okay, So as usual, what we're going to do first, we're going to work on the structure before we design it with Tailwind CSS. Alright, we're going to have a general image first, the image tag. We're going to have an image tag, and this image, we're going to get it from the way we did it before. We're going to use this image. Where is it? Hero BG2. Yeah, this one, this Sinner's image. So we're going to come here and say import hero bg from hero hero bg2 dot not png. Do not make a mistake with this file extension jpg, just like this. And then in here you can add the hero bg, just like this. And now let's see what we've got. As you can see, this is already looking fine already. It's looking beautiful already. Okay, so the next thing, under this img tag, we're going to have a div. Inside this div, we're going to have a button, one to bookmark, like save later, and then the other to watch now. So inside this div, we're going to have a button. We're going to have two buttons rather. The first one is going to say save for later, and then the second one is going to say watch now. Ctrl S, and then let's check. Yeah, we have this. So I think this is all for the structure of the hero section, the hero component. So we can start designing this right now. So first thing first, our background, we're not meant to have a white background. We're not going to have a white background. Instead, we should have like a grayish background. So for us to change the background of the entire file, we'll go to this our index.css, and then under this import statement, you can come here and say the body, give this a background color. This is plain CSS, a background color of #181818, just like this. Then you save it, and let's come back here. Yeah, as you can see, this is white, this is black. The text is white, is black on a dark background, which isn't nice. So we'll go to our hero section here, back to our hero section, and then we're going to make the text to be white. Class name text white, just like this. Then you save, and yeah, this should be white. Okay, so now we can focus on the image now. So for the image, you can just give this an alt tag of bg img, and then we give this a class name of width of full, rounded of 2xl, a height of 480 pixels, we'll close that square bracket, and you can say object center and object cover. Ctrl S, and let's see what we've got. Okay, this is okay. And then for the other and then we're going to work on this. There's meant to be a space. This is you know that the hero section is inside the home page, so we're going to go into the home page to add a padding. We're going to add a padding of 5. So let's go back to our home page .jsx, give this a class name, a padding of 5. Ctrl S, and let's see. Yeah, as you can see, this is nice. It's nice already. Now for this button, we'll go back to our hero section in this button, and then for this div here, inside this div, we're going to make it flex, class name of flex, and then a space in the x direction of 2, and for medium screen sizes you should have a space in the x direction of 4, and then we want this button to be on top of this image. We don't want it to be under, we want it inside this image, which means that we're going to implement positioning. So for that, we'll make this our container div here. We're going to make it relative, and then for this one we're going to make it absolute. And let's see, Ctrl S, nothing happened. Okay, so and we're going to specify the position. So we're going to say bottom of 3 and a left of 4. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, it is on top of the image now. Alright, now for medium screen sizes and above, we're going to have a bottom of 8 and a left of 10, just like that, and then you give it a font of medium. Yeah, so we're done with this div. Let's see. Yeah, this is nice. Now let's work on the individual buttons. So for this button, for this save later button, I'm going to make it, we should have an icon before the text, and we're going to get the icon from Lucid React. So bookmark, I guess that's the bookmark, yeah, from Lucid React. You save this, and let's see. Yeah, we have the icon. And then for the watch later, we're going to have an icon which will be play from Lucid React as well. So Ctrl S, and we should have the play button. Yeah, so for this is not looking nice. We want it to be on the same line, centered on the same line. So that is why we're going to make this flex, and then justify center and items of center, give it a background color of white, and when hovered on, give it a background color of gray of 200, and then give it a text color. It should be that reddish color, that Netflix reddish color. That would be hash E5 0914, just like this, that reddish color. And then we give it a padding in the y direction of 3, padding in the x direction of 4, and then rounded full, cursor of pointer, and a small text for mobile screen sizes, and then for medium screen sizes you should have a text of base. Then you Ctrl S, and let's see what we've got. Yeah, this is looking nice. But you can see this icon and this text is as if they don't match, so we have to work on that. We have to work on the icon. So for this bookmark icon, we're going to give this bookmark icon a class name, and then to give it a space, we can give it a margin right of 2, Ctrl S, and we should have that space. Yeah, so the next thing is the size of the button. So we'll give it a width of 4, a height of 5 for mobile screen sizes. Then for medium screen sizes, a width of 5 and a height of 5. Ctrl S, and there you go. This is looking better. Now we'll do almost the same thing for the watch now, just that we're going to change the background color. So we're going to copy this code here, this Tailwind CSS code. We'll copy all this class name, paste it here, copy the one for the icon as well, and we're going to paste it here. So let's save and let's see what we've got. Now we've got something nice, but this is not what we want. We want the opposite of this, which means that instead of the text should be this color, the background should be the color. And then we're going to give it a text color of white, text dash white, just like that. So Ctrl S and let's see. Okay, I think that is okay. But because of this sinners image here, the red color is not showing, so but we'll just leave it like that. This is looking nice already. Okay, so after this hero banner here, the next we're going to work on is the card list, which we are going to show the now playing movies, the upcoming movies, and all that. So for that, we're going to create a new component here. We're going to name it card list dot jsx, and then RAFCE. After creating this basic boilerplate, the next we are going to do is to add it inside our home page. Yeah. So we'll just add the card list. Make sure you import it. Ctrl S, and let's see. You should have, yeah, the card list. Okay, so like I said earlier, we are going to be using a static data at first. Later, we're going to go to our API, and we're going to connect our API to display dynamic data. So for now, let us just create a static data. So I can say const data will be equals to, let's just give this okay, let me just take the static data that Gemini is giving me. So this should be okay for now. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, inside this div, we're going to have an h2, which is going to tell us the type of movies, if it is now playing or upcoming or whatever. So let's just call this one upcoming. We're going to change that, of course. So just make that upcoming, and then we can have the data. Let's say data dot map item, and then we can put in a div inside. You can put in a div inside. This Gemini AI is disturbing me. Just give me a minute. Let me find how to off it so that I can teach freely without any AI dependence. And then inside this div, we're going to have an image and a text. So we're going to use the img tag, and then a p tag, which you can write a very good movie. Like I said before, this is just a static data. We're going to change this when we are fetching from the API. Alright, so for this one, we're going to be using this image. Where is it? This card image.jpg. Yeah, this one. We're going to be using that. So I can just close this, and then I can come here and say import card img from // assets / card img.jpg, just like that. And then I can put it inside here, card img. Yeah, so if I save this, I should see something. Yeah, upcoming, and then I get bunch of images. Alright, so I think it's time to start styling this div. This container div, you can give this a class name, give it a text of white, and for medium screen sizes and above, you give it a padding the x direction of 4, just like that. And then, you know what, we can wrap this inside a div so that we can make it flex us. We're going to change all this later, so we can just come here and say class name flex for now. And then for this h2 tag, you can just give this a class name a padding top of 10 and a padding bottom of 5 with a large text-lg and a font medium. So let's see. Yeah, upcoming, and then you have your images. But this image are not looking nice. We're going to change all of this because we want it to be sliding. We want it to be sliding, so we're going to use swiper. But for now, let's just keep moving. For this p tag, we're going to give this a class name of text of center and a padding top of 2. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, that's really nice. And then for the image, give it a class name, give it a height of 44, a full width, and object center, object cover as usual, object center, and object cover, Ctrl S, and yeah. So now the thing is, we want this image to be a sliding image. So for that, we are going to be using slider component. We are going to be installing, not slider, swiper rather. So we can just come here and search swiper.js, and then you can click on this. Then for the resources, you go to the resources tab here and you can click on demos. We just want a simple swiping. We can just use the default, then we can change it to whatever we want. So we click on React and let's just get the code. Alright, so we need to install swiper/react. So I can just come here, I can just copy this, go back to this code here, paste it here. But we don't have this swiper/react. But basically what I just do, I just install the full package, which is swiper. So I'll just Ctrl C this, Y, then I'm just going to say npm install swiper, just like this. There's no need for this swiper/react so that we won't miss any functionality. So I'll just npm install swiper and get the full package. As it is installing, we can get other things. We can get the swiper.css style. Yeah. Okay, now that has been installed, we can just come back here, and then as you can see, we have this swiper class and this swiper slide. So we're going to use that in our code as well. So let's go back to our code. We can get our code running, npm run dev. Then you can close the terminal, and then we're going to replace this div. We're not going to be using this div. Instead, we're going to be using swiper. Yeah. We're going to be using swiper, and then we'll give this a class name of my swiper. Now we're going to add other things, to other attributes to this, because we want our own custom as well. So we want the slides per view to be automatic, slides per view to be automatic, and then we want the space between to be 10, just like this. Let's see, nothing happened because we didn't wrap this with the swiper slide. So we're going to get rid of this div as well. We're going to call the swiper slide. We're going to wrap this everything with the swiper slide. just like this. And let's see. As you can see, it is swiping in a sense, but this is not what we want. You get, so we have to make some changes to our swiper slide. So for this, we are going to give this index so that we can have a key of index. So come here, key will be index, just like that. And then we're going to give this a class name. Give it a maximum width of 72. Then you Ctrl S and let's see. Yeah, so we don't have enough data to show the swiping stuff, but let me just increase this data. We don't really need what we just need is the number of whatever. So let me just increase this and to show you what I'm talking about. Yeah, so as you can see, this is swiping and this is what we want. Yeah, so we can copy and paste more. We just come here to this home page and just Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl V, yeah, and save this. And there you go, with different swiping stuff. It works well. All right, so the next thing we have to do is we should work on the footer first. After working on the footer, we are going to come back and get all these things from the API. All right, so let's work on the footer first before working on the API stuff, so that we'll know we're done with the home page. For the footer, we are going to go back to our VS Code, and then we can close all of this. And inside this component, we are going to create a new component which we are going to call footer.jsx, and then ROAFCE, Ctrl S. Then you go to your home page and then you put the footer inside it like this. Ctrl S. Okay, we have to import it. And yeah, you have the footer. Okay, so now let's go back to our footer. Control click on it, go back to the footer. So as usual, we're going to work on the structure first, but we can change the text color so that we can see what we're working on. Give it a text color of #737373. Yeah, that grayish color. Yeah, and then inside this div we're going to have a p tag which are going to give credit to the developer. Developed by, you can say John Doe. Put your name here, don't use John Doe, please. Put your name, you're the developer, so you deserve the credit. Put your name. So developed by John Doe, and then we can have another p tag which we are going to say read about Netflix whatever. So let me just copy it and paste it here. So you have this p tag, read about Netflix, TV shows, movies, whatever. And then we are going to have another p tag which we are going to say questions, contact us. Let me copy the text as well. Yeah, just like that. And then we're going to have a div of different unordered lists. So we'll have a div with the first UL. This is going to have different lists, so let me copy that. I don't want to waste time. We have a lot to cover. So Ctrl C, let me paste it. The code is going to be I'm going to drop the link of the GitHub repository so that you can just, in case you don't want to type it, you can copy it as well. Okay, so the next UL, we're going to have a list as well. We're going to create a UL tag, and then put in the list. We're going to add another UL, put in the list, and the final UL tag This is just going to be 3 lists. Yeah, so let's save and let's see what we've got in our site. So as you can see, this is not looking great at all, so we have to style this. So first thing we'll do is to go to our container div here, our top div. Then in medium screen sizes, you're going to give this a padding in the x direction of 10. Then you save this. Let's see. Yeah, we have that space by the x-axis side. And then this p tag here, you can give this a class name of, oh sorry, let me wrap this p tag in a div. Let me wrap these p tags in a div, this one with this one. Yeah, so we'll give this p tag, this div here, which contain that 2 p tags, we'll give it a padding y in a direction, a padding y of 20. Let's see. Yeah, this is looking nice. Yeah, and then for this question div, we are going to give this a padding bottom of 5. Yeah, now for the lists, we are going to be using grid instead of flex. I just prefer grid for this kind of stuff. So class name, make it grid, and then for medium screen sizes, give it a grid column of 2, and for mobile screen sizes, grid column of 2. For medium screen sizes and above, we'll give it a grid column of 4. And then we're going to give this a small text-sm, and a padding bottom of 10 with a maximum width of 5 XL. Ctrl S and let's see. Yeah, this is nice. Then for the individual UL tags, we're going to give this a class name. We'll make it flex in the direction of column, flex column, and then a space in the y direction of 2. Let's save and let's see. Yeah, so this one I've gotten it. We can just copy this code, copy it and paste it in all UL tags. Ctrl S and yeah, there you go. This is already looking nice. It's looking really nice. Okay, so this is not the type of font that Netflix uses. I made a small research, and the font that is closer to Netflix type of font is Roboto. So we're going to go into Google font to get the Roboto text. So we'll just say Roboto font, and we can enter fonts.google.com to get the Roboto font, and you can just click on get font. So yeah, get embed code. We're going to be using the import statement, so you can just copy this import code here, Ctrl C, then you go to your code in index.css. Before this Tailwind CSS code, you can put anywhere. I just like putting it on top, and then you can paste it here. The next we're going to do, we're going to say for every style in our code, we're going to give it a font family of Roboto. Then if Roboto is not available, you use sans serif, just like this. Then we can save and let's see if our so this is better. Yeah, this is the font that Netflix used after making some research. So with this, we are done with the footer, and next section we are going to be working with API. Yeah, we're going to be fetching API and using it to display images. We're going to use API to display images here and here with all the movie titles. Yeah, so that's what we're going to work on next. So for the API, we're going to be using the moviedatabase.org. So make sure you sign in or sign up. If you don't have an account, you sign up and make sure you're in this page. Now if you're taken to this your profile page, what you need to do is to go to this small link here. Then you click on API documentation. Now you'll be taken to a new tab, and then you have the docs of the TMDB API. Now from here, you can, if you want to check more about the API, this is where you can check more about it. But what concerns us in this project is the API reference. So now to get this hero section, we are going to be using the upcoming field, and the upcoming field is going to give us like 10 different movies. So what we need is a random movie from the 10 different movie. So when we are coding it, you are going to understand better. So let's go to movie list, and then you can use anyone, either now plain, popular, top rated, or upcoming, but I prefer showing the upcoming movies in as the hero section. So you click on upcoming. Now this is the fetch request we need. This is the fetch request, so we can just make sure your language is on JavaScript. Make sure it's on JavaScript, and then you can click on try it. And as you can see, we have different movies here. I think it's 10, I don't know, but anyhow, we have different movies here. Okay, so the next thing, we are going to copy this code here. You can just come here, click on this, copy the code, then you go back to your code editor and back to hero section. Now you can just paste it here, just like this, and we are going to make some few edits. So to call this fetch API, we are going to be using use effect. To call the API, we are going to be using use effect. So let's do that at first. So use effect from React. Make sure you import that. Then you put the callback function. Then you put in your dependency. We want it to run once when the browser is calling. When the browser just starts, so just once. So you cut this and you paste it inside here, just like this. So now let's save and let's check our code, our console, if we've gotten the movies from the API. So there's an object here. Let's see. As you can see, let me increase this. As you can see, we have date, page 1, and result. We are concerned in the result. So I said 10 images, but as you can see, we have 20 instead. So we have 20 images, and we have the backdrop part. And if you notice that this backdrop part is the image part, we have either the backdrop part or the poster part. We are going to be using the backdrop part. So for that, we will need a state where we can store this information. We just need the image in the hero section. All right, so we'll create a new state. We'll call the state movie. So we can just come here and say const movie set movie will be equal to use state, and initially it will be set to null, just like that. Now after that, we'll go inside the API, and then where we have console.log this stuff, we're going to remove this, and then we'll put curly braces, and here we're going to use an if statement to check if there's a result first. So if res.results, and if it exists and it is not 0, so we have to say if res.results.length length is greater than 0, then we're going to perform a particular function. So here, like I said before, we need only one image, and we are going to be needing a random index. So let's say we will set movie. Let's set movie to just an example, res.results result 1. So this we'll set the movie to the second data, because array starts from 0, so we can say set the result to 0. This will be the first movie. Set the result to 1, the second movie. Set the result to 2, which will be the third movie. Alright, so now what we don't want this to be statically typed. We don't want it to be static. We want it to be dynamic, which means that we want a random number. And to get that random number, we can do it by saying const random index will be equal to math.floor math.random, and then you can say times the res.result times the length, just like this. And then instead of using 2, you can just come here and say random index, just like this. Now we have the movie in our state. We'll go back here to where we have our hero image. We are going to remove this, and then here we are going to use a template literal, and the stuff, the API we are going to use, you can browse about it, but I already have it here, so I don't think there's any need for it anymore. You just come here and paste it here. So this is https image.tmdb.org/t/p/original and then movie.backdrop part. Not I said that there are two images there. We have the backdrop part and the poster part, so we are going to be using the backdrop part because that is best for a background image. So you Ctrl S, and now let's go back to our code. Alright, I didn't get anything. So for that, I think we have to make a statement here to check if there's an image first. So if no movie, so if we haven't gotten any movie, so for that we are going to return a loading state, return loading. I think this should solve the problem, because I think we are getting an undefined, yeah. So as you can see, we have gotten a random image. So if I refresh, I'll get another random image. Refresh, I'll get another random image, just like that. Now that's for this, we are done with this hero section. So the next thing we're going to do is to fill this with the upcoming movies. We are going to change this title. If you look at this, we have different ones. We have now playing, popular, top rated, and upcoming. So that is what we are going to do here. We are going to change this to now playing, popular, updated, and whatever. Alright, so that's what we are going to be doing next. Okay, so for the card list, we are going to go back to our code, and then let's find the card list. Okay, this is it. So for this card list, you can just come here, and we are going to be accepting two things. We need the title, which is this one. Let me show you. Which is this one. We need this title, and then we need the category in order for us to fetch the particular type of movies that we want. So we need the title and the category, just like this. So for now, we can just console.log the title and the category, so to check if we're actually getting it, because we're going to try to get it from the home page. So category, yeah. Alright, so let's go back to our home page and let's pass that. So for this one, we can give this a title of now playing, and then a category. For the category, if you go to our TMDB database here, you will notice that all of them, this top rated movie list here, all have a category. Like this top rated, as you can see, it is top rated. If you go to popular, it will have a popular category inside the link, so which means that we can manipulate that. So that's why I want to make it dynamic. So for that, let me set this back to the normal size, and then for this category, this now playing, we are going to use the now playing, now underscore playing, and then we are going to do it for the next. So I'll copy this one. The next one is going to be top rated, so I'll just paste it here. The next one is going to be popular. Just copy it and paste it, and then the final one is going to be upcoming. Now as you can see, we can remove these curly braces. It's still the same thing though. Alright, so if you go back to card list, then we should see the card list inside our, we're not getting anything, so let me check. Okay, they say card list is not defined. Alright, so in my format code I use cards list instead of card list. Alright, so we'll go to our home page and then you change this to card list, and yeah, card list. So I'll save this and go back. It should work now. Yeah, if you look at, we already have the title now playing, category now playing, title now playing. Is repeating, although you can see what I'm talking about, the top rated and the category top rated. So with this we can go to our TMDB database to fetch a particular movie category. So I can just take this, copy this top rated, come here back to my card list, and then I can get rid of this data. We don't need it anymore. Then we paste it here. Now the same thing we did for the first one, we're going to be using a use effect to get this fetch API to make it be able to fetch immediately we enter our homepage. Alright, so we'll go and we'll get use effect from React. Use effect, import it from React, pass in the callback function, and then the dependency, and then you take the fetch request, you cut it and you paste it inside here. You can get rid of this console.log, get rid of it, we don't need it anymore. And then the data, as you can see, we need a data here to map over, so we need to get a data state. So we'll just come here and say const data set data. This will be equal to use state. We'll set it to null at first as well. Make sure you import this from React, and then you come here and remove this console.log and say set data to be res.result. We want the result, not any other details. We're focused on the result. And yeah, so we'll control.s and let's see, we're getting an error message. We're getting error here. Okay, the title and category, we'll work on that after. So let's save this and let's see what we've got. We are not getting anything. Let's check why. Okay, cannot read properties of null. Alright, so which means that instead of setting it to null, we have to set it to an empty array. Alright, set it to an empty array. You save this and let's see. Yeah, so okay, we still got our normal stuff because we had coded this, remember. Yeah, so we had coded it. So if you check, we used the card image and then we had coded this text. So we're going to make this dynamic. So first off, we're not going to be using upcoming here. We're going to be using the title gotten from the home page, which is this title gotten from the home page. If you look at this, so it should show now playing, it should show all of this. So let's check. So you save this, Ctrl S, and then you go back to your browser and you will see now playing, top rated, popular, and upcoming. Yeah, so that's it. The next we are going to do is to work on the images and the title. So we'll go back to our code. So for the image, we are going to the same thing we did before. We are going to copy this now and I'm going to show you how you can do it. Ctrl C, and then you come here, you put in your template literal and you paste this here. Now this is the same thing we did. We added a width of 500 image.tmdb.org.t/p, and then this is a width of 500, and then the item dot backdrop part. Like I said, we have two things. We have either the backdrop part or the poster part. So let's save this and let's check back. Yeah, so we got all these images. So if I use the poster part, I'm going to show you how it is. So item dot poster part, Ctrl S, and let's see. As you can see, we got the poster part instead of the backdrop part. But if you noticed, the backdrop part is better than the poster. I say better. The backdrop part instead. Sorry, the backdrop part is better than the poster part. So yeah, this is better. Alright, then for the title, we're going to come here and say item dot original underscore title. Just like this, you save this and let's see. Yeah, the Shawshank Redemption, the Godfather Part 2, and yeah, everything. But if you noticed, now playing, top rated, popular, and upcoming all have the same images, the same movies, which isn't right. You should have different images and different titles, different movies in general. So for that, we are going to be changing this. Instead of top rated, we are going to be working with the category gotten from the home page. All right, to do that, we are going to change this to a template literal. Yeah, just like this. And then instead of top rated, we're going to get rid of top rated, and then we'll use the $sign and then put in the category. Just like this, you save, Ctrl S, and yeah, it should work now. Let's refresh. Yeah, as you can see, now playing, we've got more recent movies: Minecraft, Final Destination, Snow White, and other things. And for top rated, we've got the older versions of movies as well. For popular, we have this, and upcoming, we have Warfare, Mission Impossible, Sinners, Karate Kid Legends, and other movies as well. Yeah, so this is nice. This is really, really nice. The next two we're going to work on is individual clicking of movies. So when I click on this final destination, it should take me to the destination of the movie. Alright, so that's what we're going to work on next. In order for us to link to a different URL, we're going to be needing React router for us to go to a different route. So for that, you open your terminal, you press Ctrl J, and then you can close this by pressing Ctrl C. When you close it, press Y, CLS to clear, and then npm install React-router, and then you wait for it to install. Okay, so now that it has been installed, we're going to start our server again, npm run dev, and then you can close it. What we are going to use to link to another URL is our link component from the React router. So you can just come here and say link, and it is not yet. So let's import it from here. Import link from React-router, React-router, just like this. And then you can come here and add the link component here. We're going to wrap this everything here with the link component. You come here and then you say to, where are you linking to? Now this is going to be a dynamic link, which means that each movie have their movie ID. So we have to link dynamically. So we'll just come here and say /movie/ the movie ID, which you can get by item.id, just like this. Then you Ctrl S, and then when you come here, let's refresh this. Okay, so now nothing showed, so let's check the let's inspect and let's check the error message that we got. So we'll go to console here, and as you can see, cannot destructure property base name React blah 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 as it is null. That is because we are using React router component, that's the link component, but our general app is not using React router, so we have to make it use React router. And to make it use it, we have to go to our general component, which is main.jsx, and then we're going to wrap the app component inside browser router from React router. So the first thing we'll do is to import browser router from React router, and then inside the strict mode component we are going to wrap the app component with the browser router. You wrap it just like this, and then Ctrl S, then this should work. Yeah, so now each movie, as you can see, the hand have changed to a thumb to click on this. So if I click on this final destination, I'll be taken to /movie then /574475. So let me click on it again and let me refresh. Nothing happens even though we are in /movie/ whatever. That is because we haven't set up a routing system in our React application. So for routing to work, we have to set up a routing system in our application. So that's what we're going to do next. So you go to your app.jsx, and then we're going to be using route. We're going to create this homepage. Now should only appear in slash. The homepage should appear in slash, then the movie /the id. So let's work on that. We're going to create a component, not create rather, we're going to import the routes component from React router, and then inside this route component we're going to add a route component, which is a single route. This is going to be a self-closing component, and then we're going to indicate where we want this part to be. Like for our home page now, we're going to use a slash, a backslash, a forward slash rather, and then we're going to say the element which is going to be in that forward slash is going to be our home page. So we're going to take this home page and plug it in just like this, and then when we save, let's make sure we import this route from React router. Yeah, so when we save, if you notice, when we go to /movie/ we didn't see anything, but if we go back to our home page, which is normal localhost, we are going to see the home page. So if I click on final destination, I go to /movie then /the id of final destination, I'm not going to see anything because we do not have that image created, that route created. So if I Ctrl C and Ctrl V this, and I say /movie, and for a dynamic id, you know that the id doesn't change, so I can just come here and put a colon id /movie/id. I'm not going to use the home page. Let's say I give it a p tag and say this is a movie page. So this should work. Ctrl S, I should see that this is a movie page. As you can see it here, this is a movie page. Now the next we are going to do right now, since we have gotten this route to work, we are going to create a component which is going to show the movie page, which means that after creating the component, we are going to come here and replace this is a movie page, and then you add in the component inside. Yeah, okay, so now we'll go and create the components. We'll create this not in the component folder. We're going to create this page in the pages folder. So we'll create the page movie page.jsx, and then arrow-fce just like this, Ctrl S, and then we'll go back to our JSX, and then we'll remove this p tag here, and then we'll add the movie page. Oh, I wrote move page, so let me change this to movie page, and then I'll come here and edit this to movie page movie page, Ctrl S, then you go back to app.jsx and make sure you import that as movie page. Yeah, so you save this and you go back and you should see movie page. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is to fetch the movie based on this ID. All right, and we can fetch a movie based on ID by coming to this movies place here and then you entering into the details. If you look at the code here, you will see /movie/movie ID. So we can just copy this request, come here, and back to our movie page. You will just come here and paste it here, and then we can use the use effects hook to fetch our use effects, passing the callback function and then the dependency. All right, and then we'll just copy this code here, from here to here, Ctrl X, and then you put it inside. Make sure you import your use effects. Yeah. All right, as you can see now, we need the ID of the movie, and if you come here, this is the ID of the movie. So how do we get this from the URL? Wow, thank God React Router already provide a solution for that. So to get the ID, we'll just say const ID will be equal to use params from React Router, just like that. And then you just come here, change this to a template literal, and then remove this movie ID text here and replace it with the actual movie ID. And then since we're using this ID, it is dependent on the ID, just like this. You save and let's check our console. And look at, we've got this object of the particular image, final destination, bloodlines, and all this information. So we're going to use this information to generate a movie page that will look really nice. Okay, so let's continue building. Now instead of console.logging the results, we're going to add it into a state. So we'll say const movie set movie to be equal to use state, and we'll make it null at first. Yeah, and then console.log, we'll remove the console.log and you add set movie to be res. All right, and then if there's no movie, we're going to add a loading state. So at first, if the movie is undefined, if no movie, we can just return a div with a span tag of loading, span loading. You can make this look beautiful by giving this a class name of flex and then item center, justify center, and finally give it a screen of 100 VH, that is h-screen in Tailwind CSS. And then this span tag, you give it a class name of a text of extra large and a text, give it a red text red of, let's say 500. All right, so when we refresh, we're going to get that loading state before the image appears. So yeah, you can see that quick loading stuff. Now we'll start designing the full movie page. So for that, we'll get rid of this stuff here. We'll create a new div where we'll add the movie background. So inside this div, we'll give this a class name. We'll give this div a class name of relative, and then a height of 60 view height, and flex, give it item of end, just like this. Yeah, and then to give it a background, Adding background in Tailwind CSS is not that easy, so we're going to add an inline CSS style. So to do that, you just put style property here, and then you put a background image, then template literal URL, then of course how we added the image before is the same thing we're going to add now. Just like this, paste it here. Yeah, so https / image.tmdb.org/t/p/original, then movie.backdrop path, just like that. Then you save. Let's see what we've got. So as you can see, we've gotten this image, and then we're going to make some changes as well. So we'll put a comma, we'll come down and we'll say background size. This will be cover. The background size will be cover, and the background position will be center. Let me put a colon here. Then you save, and let's see what we've got. Yeah, so this is nice. This is the final destination image. And then under this div, let me work on this container div so that we won't be going back to make some changes. We are going to give this container div a minimum height of screen, a minimum height of 100 VH, and then a background of #181818 and a text of white. Yeah, just like this. Ctrl S, and yeah, all right. So under this image div, or not under, inside the div, this is a background image. So inside the div, we're going to have a gradient, a background gradient. So we need this image to blend with this. So for that, we're just going to create a div which is just going to act as a background gradient. So we'll create the div here. All right. Inside the div, we're going to give it a class name. A class name of absolute, and give it an insert of 0 with a background gradient to top, bg dash gradient to top of from the color that it's our background, which is this one, from this via transparent to transparent, just like this. You save this, and then let's see. As you can see, we've gotten that blend that we want. Just like this, we've gotten the blend. So this is really nice. Now after this one, we're going to create a div under this div. Like I said, that div was just for the transparent the blending stuff. So we'll create another div here, and this div will have an image tag, and then this div is going to have a source of, let me copy that same background image, whatever, here, a source of that just like this. You save this, and yeah, we have this image here. Okay, now we're going to style this image. We'll give this image a class name of rounded-lg, and a shadow of lg, with a small width. We want the width to be like 48, should be okay. And for mediums, for mobile phones, it should be hidden. We don't want this, is just an additional image. And then for medium screen sizes and above, it should be a type of block. So we'll save this, and let's see. Yeah, this is the image here. Alright, so to edit that, we can go to this div on top. We'll give this a class name. Give it a class name of relative, a z index of 10, flex, items of center, items of, let's use end will be better, and a padding of 8 with a gap of 8. Alright, we didn't have any much change, we just brought this one down. We are going to have other things beside this particular image. So under this image tag, we are going to have another div. And this div is going to have an h1 tag, which is going to display the movie title. So we are going to say the movie dot title, just like this. Then you save, and we should see the tag, yeah, final destination bloodlines. Alright, so we can start editing. Let's edit directly instead of working the structure first before editing, so we can start writing the styles together to make things faster. I don't want this video to be so long. Alright, so we'll give this a class name of text of 4XL with a bold font dash bold, with a margin bottom of 2. This should be okay. Control S, and let's see. Yeah, this is really nice. This is nice. Okay, so after this h1 tag, we're going to have a div, a lot of divs, but it's just to get the work done. We're going to have a div, and then this div is going to have a span tag. This span is going to contain the movie vote, the vote average, whatever. So we're going to use a star, so you can window and press dot. So to window and press dot, you can just keep typing star. So this star, we can just click on this one. So yeah, we've gotten that star emoji, and then you pass in the movie dot vote underscore average, just like this. So you Control S, and let's see, we've gotten 7.13, but most movie sites usually leave it in 1 decimal place, so we're going to make ours too in 1 decimal place. So to do that, we'll just say dot to fixed, and then we used 1. So Control S, and you are going to see it to be 1 decimal place. Yeah, so this is nice. So under this one, we're going to have the release date. So under this span, we're going to have another span, and this span is going to have the release date, which will be movie dot release underscore date. Control S, and yeah, we should have that. So this is the movie release date, and if you notice, this is looking side by side, so we can edit that by going to this div here, and then we give this a class name, this div which contains the 2 span tag. So you give it a class name of flex, and then item center, a gap of 4 with a margin bottom of 2. So you save this, and let's see. Yeah, nice. And then after this span, we're going to have another span, which is going to have the movie runtime. So that is how long the movie is. So we'll just have the movie dot runtime, and then you can leave a small space here and say minute. Control S, and let's see. Yeah, so this is the star rating, the date, and the runtime. So this is nice. Now under this div which have all of this, we are going to create another div, which is under this one. Create another div, and this div is going to have the genre name, and the movie overview. Alright, so we're going to come here now and say movie dot genres dot map. We have a lot of movie genres, of course. So we'll come here and say genre, just like this, and then you add the span tag, and then you pass in the genre name. So let's see if that worked. So let's see. Yeah, horror and mystery. So that is the genre of the movie. So now let's style that. Now in this span tag, you give it a class name of bg gray of 800, bg dash gray dash 800 with a padding x of 3 and a padding y of 1, rounded dash full text dash sm. Ctrl S, and this should be okay. Alright, but it still looks conjoined, so to make that look nice, we are going to go to this div which contains all the genres together. Alright, so for this we'll give it a class name of flex, and flex dash wrap with a gap of 2 and a margin bottom of 4. Ctrl S, and yeah, that is nice. That's nice. Okay, there is something I've noticed now. If you look at this background image and this other small image, they are the same thing, which doesn't really make sense. So we have to change that image. Instead of using the backdrop part, we should change this to the poster part instead. So let's go up. Now this one should be the backdrop part, and then this second one we should use the poster part. So let's clean this and then change this to poster part. Then you Ctrl S, and let's see what we've got. Wow, perfect. This is nice. So yeah, this is really nice. Okay, so let's continue building. That's just a mistake I want to point out. Under this genre div now, we are going to create the p tag which we are going to use to write the movie overview. We're going to just come here and say movie dot overview. Ctrl S, and let's see. Yeah, okay, this is nice. So we can make that beautiful, we can edit that a little. So we'll give this a class name and then give it a maximum width of 2xl. That should be nice, with a text gray of 200, text dash gray of 200. Ctrl S, and let's see. Now this is better. This is better. Okay, before we continue, or okay, it should be nice. Let's add the watch now button under this. Under this we'll have the watch now button, so we can go to our component, our hero section, where we have the watch now button. This button, you can just come here, Ctrl C, and then you go to the movie page. Under this p tag, you paste the button here, and make sure you have the play button imported to this component. Ctrl S, and then let's see what we've got. Okay, this is nice. So we'll just make some few changes, like we'll give this button now a margin top of 2, then for medium screen sizes and above we'll give it a margin top of like 4. So Ctrl S, and yeah, that is nice. So when we click on this, we should expect to take us to maybe the YouTube page, but for now it's not working. We're going to work on that later on. Alright, so with this now, let's check another video, another movie. Let's see how it looks. So if I click on this logo, nothing happens. So let's work on that. We'll go to our navigation bar where we have the image logo, and then we're going to use the link component from React Router since we have that now. So link from React Router, we're going to take this and wrap the image, and then to while we're linking to the home page. Ctrl S, and then when we click on this, it should take us to the home page. Yeah, that's nice. So this cascade now, if I want to click on this watch now, I should be taken to the movie page as well. So let's go and change that. We'll go to our hero section here, and then we'll wrap everything with no, not everything, rather we'll wrap the play button with a link component from React Router as well. We'll close this, copy this wrap everything. And where are we linking to? We are linking to template literals slash movie slash the id, which will be let's see what we call this, movie.backdrop. So movie.id, just like this. You save, Ctrl S, and then if I click on watch now, I should be taken to the movie page. Yeah, Karate Kid Legend, that's nice. Let's go back, let's look for another film. So if I, let's say St. Catherine, yeah, this is nice. This is looking really nice. Okay, so now let's continue building this component. Okay, now we are in the hero section, but the component we're working on is the movie page. So under this image, under this movie information, we're going to have the details part, which is going to give a broader information about the movie. So that's what we're going to work on next. To work on it, you're going to count 3 divs down, 1 2 3, and then here you're going to create a new div. This div will have a class name of a padding of 8. Then you save it. Then inside this div you are going to have an h2 tag, which is going to say details, just like this. And then under the h2 tag you are going to have a div with another div. We'll have a lot of divs, and then inside this div we are going to have an unordered list, yeah, just like this. And then a list item. Inside this list item we are going to have two span tags. The first one is going to be the status, the movie status. So we're going to come here and say status is going to be movie status. That will be movie dot status. Ctrl S, and let's see what we've got. Okay, details, status of release. Alright, so let's before we continue going, let's style this a little bit. So for these details, we're going to give this a class name of we're going to increase the text size to 2XL, and then font semi bold with a margin bottom of 4. Ctrl S, let's see. Alright, that is better. And then in this div here, we're going to give this a lighter gray color. So we're going to come here and say class name, give it a bg of hash 232323, just like this. And then rounded dash lg, shadow, give it a small shadow of lg, a padding of 6, make it flex, and a flex column. The flex direction should be column, and for medium screen sizes and above, the flex direction should be row, just like this. And then a gap of 8. Then you Ctrl S. Let's see what we've got. Okay, you have seen this little box here. Alright, let's continue building. Now inside this other div, we're going to give this a class name of flex dash 1. Ctrl S. I'm not sure you're going to see much change. Yeah, you just to make sure it takes the entire space. That is the value, that is the function of that flex dash 1. Alright, for this UL tag here, we're going to give this a class name, give it a text. We're going to change the text color to be gray. We'll make it gray dash, let's use 300. That should be okay. And then a space in the y direction of 3. Ctrl S. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. Now under this list tag, we're going to have another li tag, and then inside this li tag we're going to have span tags, 2 span tags as well. And this one is going to be the release date. So we're going to come here and write release date. and then inside here we're going to pass in the movie.release date. Ctrl S and let's see. Okay, that's nice. But we can make some few changes to indicate that this one is under this. We can make this bold a little bit. Let's just make a few changes. For the span tag which contain the label, we're going to give this a class name of we're going to give it a semi-bold font dash semi-bold, and then we'll give it a text dash white color, just like this. Let's save and let's see how it looks. Yeah, better. And then we're going to copy this class name and put it in the second one. And then for the other one, which is the main data, we're going to give it a margin left of 2 ml-2, and then we'll come here and say class name ml-2. Alright, before I continue, just a little reminder of how we are getting all the status and release dates. If you are confused, let me remind you. Alright, so if we come here and console.log the movie, console.log movie is equal to the movie. Alright, when I save this and then I come here and click on inspect, and then I go to console, you can see this movie object here. So when I expand this, you are going to see the backdrop part, the genres, which is an array of war and action, which we added here, war and action. Alright, you can see other information. We have the original title, which is what we are using here, warfare, and we have the overview, the production companies. So we are going to be using all of these production companies, production countries. This is the release dates which we added. Then we had revenue, the spoken languages. We are going to use all of this, and note the type. This spoken language is an array. We are going to be using the .map function or the .map method to map over this. And as you can see, we have the status of release, we have the tagline, we have the title, we have the vote average, whatever. So just so you know, this is how we get all those stuff. So right now we can continue building. Yeah, so now under this release date, we're going to have the movie original language. So it's just the same thing. I'm just going to copy and paste it. I don't want to waste time. So we'll have an li tag which is going to li tag for the original language, and then it covers the same thing. Two span tags, one for the label, original language, font semi-bold, text white, and then the span, the other one which is the data, we have the original language, and then we made it uppercase to uppercase. Ctrl S and let's see. Original language English. Yeah. Okay, the next one is the movie budget. So that one too, we're going to use an li tag, and then inside this li we're going to have two span tags, span times 2. Alright, the first one, which is the label, this one will be budget, and then the inside one we're going to have the movie budget. But not all movies provide their budget to the API, so which means we have to handle that as well. So for that, we are going to be using the ternary operator, and hope you know that in JavaScript, the ternary operator. So we'll say movie dot budget, does it exist? If it exists, then we'll show it. Then we'll use the $sign, again, because we want it to be in dollars. Alright, so we're going to add the movie dot budget, just like this. And then if it doesn't exist, you are going to put a colon. If it doesn't exist, and then now you can add n/a, just like this. Ctrl S and let's see what we've got. You can see budget and then 2 million whatever. So we have to add that comma and stuff to make it look nice. So to make it look nice, you can come here and say dot to local string, just like this. Control S, and let's see. As you can see, it has gotten all those comma, which is 20 million. Alright, and we can add our styling, of course. Control C, come here, you add it, and then give this a margin left of 2 as well. Control S, and yeah, that's nice. Okay, the next one is the movie revenue, so I'm going to copy that as well. It's just the same thing. If I've gotten how to do it, then you are good to go. It's just the same thing. I have the revenue and then the movie revenue dot to local string. Alright, let's see. Revenue, yeah, that's nice. The next one we're going to have is the production company. So what I'll do is just to explain this one. This one is a little bit different. So under this, we're going to paste this code, and then let's close the list tag. Yeah, now you understand up to this extent of the label production companies. And like I said before, the production companies type was an array, so we cannot add an array like that. Just if you come here and say movie dot production underscore companies, then you save, and now let's check. You're not going to get anything because the production company is not a normal string or a number. The production company is an array, so we cannot just add it like this. So for us to make this, we are going to make sure that number one, it exists. So like I said before, you can use the ternary operator, but now we also want to use the ternary operator to check the length of the production movie. Alright, so first of all, we check if the production movie exists. That is, we're using the conditional statement production movie, and then we can come here and say the movie dot production company again. If the length is greater than 0, production companies dot length is greater than 0, then we are sure that we can map over this. So we are going to come here. If it's greater than 0, we are going to come here and say the movie dot production companies dot map, and then we can use let's just use C, which stands for companies, and then we'll just get the name of the company, C dot name, just like this. And then we can join all of that with a comma. So we'll say join if there are more. If there are more, you join with a comma. Else, you will just come here and put n/a, just like this. So I hope this makes sense. Let me save it and check if it worked first. Alright, as you can see, production company DNA films, comma A24. Alright, this is what I did. Movie the production companies, you first check if it exists. Alright, if it exists, then we can show this. So and that means we are having two checks. Check if it exists first, and then we'll check if the length is greater than 0, because we don't want to display anything that is the array is empty. So alright, so we'll check if it is greater than 0, which means at least there is one production company. Then we'll come here, map over it, and get c dot name, which is the name of the production company. And then if it is more than 2, we join them with a comma. Then if the length is not greater than 0, that means if it is an empty array, we are going to display n/a, as simple as that. Then we are going to use the same format to do for the production countries. So Ctrl C, come under this list tag, and you paste here. It follows the same principle. Let me get rid of this extra space. It follows the same principle. First you have your label countries, and then here you check if there is production countries. If it exists, you check if it is greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, you map over it, get the name, join if it is more than 2 with a comma, and then if the length is an empty array, if it's an empty array, you display n/a. And then the same thing with spoken languages. I'll just Ctrl C here, and then I can paste it as well. Follows the same principle also. spoken languages, if movie.spokenlanguages exists and movie.spokenlanguages.length is greater than 0, that is when we can have all of this. Alright, so this is nice. So we'll just come here and yeah, as you can see, we have the status release, the release date, the original language, the budget, the revenue, production companies, countries, United Kingdom, USA, spoken languages, English, Turkish. Yeah, so that's really nice. So having these details now, we're going to have another detail. We're going to have another details by the right of this component or this section. All right, so under this L1 li tag, and this under this ul tag, under this div, we're going to come here and we're going to create another div. This div as well is going to have a flex of 1, class name flex -1, and then we're going to have an history tag with the label tagline, and then we're going to have a p tag under it. This p tag is going to contain the tagline, so we'll just come here and say movie dot tagline. Then if it doesn't exist, you come here and say no tagline available. Just like this, you save this, and then we can come here and you can see tagline, everything is based on memory. That is because the tagline is available. Okay, so we can style this. We'll give this a class name of font dash semi-bold, and then text dash white with a margin bottom of 2. Ctrl S. Then this tagline, we're going to give this a class name as well. Give it a class name of italic. It should be slant, and then a text gray of 400, text dash gray dash 400 with a margin bottom of 6. Ctrl S, and let's see. Yeah, really nice, really nice. Okay, so the next one we're going to have another history tag. This one is going to be for the movie overview. So we'll come here and say overview, and then under this overview we're going to have a p tag, just like the former one. We'll have a p tag, and then the movie overview, movie dot overview. Ctrl S, and we should have that. Yeah, overview, and then the movie overview. So let's style this. This history should be the same thing with this one, so we can just copy this, Ctrl C, and then paste it here, Ctrl S, and then this overview will give us a class name of just one class name, gray of 200. This should be okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's better. Okay, so with this we are done with the details section. As you can see, this is looking like a real movie application. Alright, so the next we're going to have is the recommended section. So this won't be nice if we don't have other movies to show as a recommended movie. Okay, so for that we are going to need to get the recommended movies from the API. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, so while we are here, if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see this recommendations tab here. So if you click on it, you can see that the movie ID is required, and this is the fetch request that we need. So we can just copy this, and then back to our code, we can just scroll to the top, and then we can paste it. We can paste it here. We already have these options, so we get rid of these options. And then this fetch stuff, we can cut it and then paste it in our use effect here. Just come here and paste it. Now we are going to be needing the ID, the movie ID, just like this. So we can just come here, change this to a template literal, and then we can add the movie ID just like we did. So I can just come here and copy this and paste it here. Okay, so now I can just we're console.log in the response. So let me get rid of this movie stuff and save this. Let's check our console if we're going to get everything. Let me refresh this. And yeah, as you can see, we have result of 20 different movies related to this warfare, and we are getting a warning from movie page that every child in a list should have a unique key prop. Okay, so that is because we're using .map without any key prop. So let's check where we're using .map. Something like this, it should have a unique key prop, whatever. You can just anyhow just work on it yourself. Get rid of that. This is not really a problem. But all right, so now the thing is, we have to save this information in a state just like we did with the movie. So we can come here and say const recommendations, comma set recommendations will be equal to, we're going to set it initially to an empty array, use state, set to an empty array, and then we're going to go back to our fetch request, and then we're not going to collect any other information, we just need the result. So we'll come here, get rid of this console.log, and we're going to say set recommendations to be res.result if it's available. If it's not available, then you just default it to an empty array, just like this. So Ctrl S, and with that we've gotten our recommendations. So we can just close this one, close the details, and then under the details and under the movie information, we can have our recommendations. So just like I said before, we have to check if the length is greater than 0 when dealing with something that might be an empty array. First thing you have to do is to check if the length, if it exists first. So that is why we have to come here and say recommendations dot length. If it is greater than 0, that is when we can have this component. If it's an empty array, there's no need rendering this component. Alright, so first thing we'll have a div, and this div will have a padding of 8. So let me write that. Give this a class name a padding of 8, and then we're going to have an h2 tag, which is going to say you might also like h2, you might also like, then 3 dots, Ctrl S. Let's style this one, give it a class name, a text of 2XL with a semi-bold font and a margin bottom of 4. Ctrl S, and let's check. Okay, you might also like, that isn't looking so nice. Ctrl S, yeah, so it's better. You might also like, yeah, that's nice. Alright, under this h2 tag, we're going to have a div, and then inside this div we are going to get all the results of the recommendations. So alright, we are going to come here and we are going to be needing only 10 out of that 20, so we don't want to make our site full of just movies and all that, so we have to just get only 10. And for us to get 10, you know what to do, we have to use the .slice method. Alright, we're going to come here and say recommendations .slice, a method in JavaScript. From the first array to the 10th array, you get that, and then you map over it. So I can just come here and say recommendations, then you return a div, and then you can give this a key of the ID. You can give this a key of recommendation.id. Ctrl S, and then we can give this a link tag of, we want to if we click on the link, if we click on the movie, it should take us to the movie page, just like what we have been doing since. So we're going to come here and say link from React router. Make sure you import that link, and then we're going to add the href or to. We're going to add link uses to, so we're going to add the template literal now with /movie/ the id, which is the $ recommendation.id, just like this. So you Ctrl S, and then inside we are going to have an image tag. This image tag is going to have a source. We are going to add the poster part, so we can just grab it from where we have it. Just grab the source. We have been using this image pattern, so you should already have it, so just paste it here. Source should be the poster part. Alright, then under this image we'll have a div. Inside the div we are going to have the title. You can make the title an h3 tag, and then you pass in the recommendation.title, and then under this title we are going to have the release date. So for this release date now, we don't really need everything. Let me add a span tag first. We don't really need everything, we just need like if it's 2024 or 2025, whatever. So we're going to come here and say recommendation.release underscore date, and then for us to get only the 2024 stuff, we're going to be using .slice as well. So .slice from the first one to the fourth one. You know, we have just four stuff, 2024 whatever. So just Ctrl S this, and let's see. As you can see, we have the movie image, Teen Soldier 2025, whatever, all of these. We have all of these, and if I click on this, I should be taken to the just like if I click on Teen Soldier, I should be taken to the Teen Soldier page. Yeah, this is just it. Alright, so now, and if you notice, the recommendation section, it changed to the movie which is related to this Teen Soldier. So we can make this look better. So let's start styling this. Alright, so first thing we'll do is in our code, where all of them, before we map over it, this div which contains all the recommendations, we're going to give this div a class name. We're going to be using grid instead of flex, so we'll say grid, and then for mobile screen sizes, give it a grid column of 2, not 1, 2. And then for medium screen sizes and above, you have to give it a grid column of 5, yeah. And then a gap of 4, just like this. Ctrl S, and then we should see something nice. Yeah, this is nice. Alright, so we can make this better. So back to our code, we are going to work on this image, or before the image we are going to have inside this div here, we can put a simple hover effect on it. Alright, so we can just come here and give it a class name, give it a background color. We want to make it a lighter gray color of #232323. That should be okay. And then give it a rounded of LG, and overflow of hidden with hover. The scale should be 105. I think that should be nice. And transition, yeah, Ctrl S. So let's check. You can see that simple hover effect and the background color. This is really nice. Okay, now let's continue. This image, we can make the image better. We can give this a full width, give it a class name, width of full, and then a height of 48, and object dash cover, just like this. Ctrl S, and this should be better. Yeah, this is better. This is looking nice already. Now I think what is next is for the text. So this div containing the text. We're going to give it a class name of padding of 2, and then this h3 tag here, we're going to give it a class name of text dash sm, a small text, and font dash semi bold, just like this. And then for the release date, we're going to give this a class name text of extra small, and then a text gray of 400, just like this. You save this and we should have a complete package. Yeah, this is better. This is really nice. Like, just look at this. Just look at this. This is nice. Like, now if I click on last bullet, I'll be taken to the last bullet page. As you can see, last bullet, and I will have other images related to last bullet and the ugly stepsister. As you can see, other images related to it. Now this is nice. So the next thing we'll have to work on is when we click on this button, what happens? You should be taken to a new tab where we can display the YouTube trailer of the video, so they can watch the video on YouTube. Alright, so that's what we're going to work on next. Okay, so for the YouTube trailer feature, we can easily do that by coming to our TMDB API here and then going to this videos tag here. Now if you come to this video tag, you can see that this movie ID is required, so we can come here, copy this movie ID, then here and paste it here, and we can click on try to check what we are going to expect. And if you look at this, you can see the official trailer, the trailer key, the site which is YouTube, and the type trailer, and whatever. We have other informations. Alright, so this is what we are going to do. We can copy this, go back to our code here, then back in where we usually paste it. We'll just come here, paste it. We already have the options, so we'll get rid of the options. We only need the fetch stuff, so you copy this fetch, then inside this use effects, under the recommendations, you can paste it. Now as well, we are going to be needing the movie ID, so we can change this to a template literal, change this, and then we'll get the ID, Ctrl C, replace it with this. Alright, now we are going to have a trailer key. Instead of console.login the trailer, we're going to come here and we're going to get a state const trailer key, comma, set trailer key, this will be equal to use state. It should be null at first. Initially it should be set to null. Alright, we're going to come here where we have console.log, and then we're going to pass in some stuff. Alright, so we're going to use a curly braces, and then we're going to say const trailer will be equal to res.result.find. We don't need anything that is not a YouTube trailer. I don't really have time to start getting other trailers, no. So we just need only the one for YouTube, which is why we're using the .find to find only YouTube trailers in case the video have more trailers on other platforms. So I'm going to come here and say find the video. If the video.site vid.site is equal to strictly equals to YouTube, because if you go to your API here, you're going to see the site as YouTube, so we'll have to use this. If the site is strictly equal to YouTube, and then the video type, if the video.type if the type is YouTube, is trailer rather, if the type is strictly trailer, just like this. So that is how we're going to get the trailer. Then after getting the trailer, we're going to come here and say set trailer key to be equal to trailer dot key. Else, if it is not found, you set it to null, just like this. Ctrl S, and then we are going to use this trailer key now to link to our YouTube. So for that, where do we have that? Yeah, this watch now button here. We are going to come here, we're going to come here, wrap this button in React router link component, wrap it, and then you are going to come here and say to a template literal https://www.youtube.com/watch/v not slash question mark v is equal to, this is where we're going to pass in our trailer key, so trailer key, just like this. We also want to make sure that this appear in a new tab, so we're going to come here and say target is equal to blank, just like this. Ctrl S and this should work. Let's refresh to make sure that the API fetches correctly. So if I click on watch now, okay, it's taking me to null. Alright, so I can get rid of this to show you that there's a problem with our code. Alright, so let me go back and check where the problem is coming from. Okay, so the problem is coming from here. As you can, if you go back to your stuff, you are going to see that the site is with a capital T. So we can go back to our code and then change this to a capital T. Alright, Ctrl S and let's refresh. Yeah, so if I click on this, I should be taken to this is the trailer key. And as you can see, the ugly step sister, the trailer, as you can see. Alright, so this is nice. Okay, so yeah, this is nice. The next thing we're going to work on is this get AI movie pics. But before we can get AI movie pics, we need to sign in. We need to be a registered user for us to get AI movie pics. So that's what we're going to work on next. We're going to build the UI for sign in and sign up functionality. Alright, that's what we're going to work on next. For the sign in and sign up page, we can just go back to our code. We can close this, and then in the pages folder, we're going to create another new folder. We're going to call this signin.jsx, and then you can put in the array fce to get the sign in component, and then we'll create another new file, signup.jsx, and then array fce to get the components running. And then we'll go to our app.jsx. We're going to add two new routes. So first route, this part is going to be sign in /sign in, and then the element to be the sign in page. Get it from pages /sign in. And let me wrap this to follow a single pattern. It should work still, but alright, so I can just copy this, paste it, change this to sign up, and then I'm going to be using the sign up from pages /sign up. Alright, now when I click this, I should be taken to the sign in page. Alright, so I'll go to my component folder here in the navbar.jsx, and I'll look for that button. This is it. I'm going to come here and put a link tag from React router, wrap it all over the button, and then I'm going to come here and say to, you should link to what, /sign in, just like this. Ctrl S, and now when I click on this, I should be taken to the sign in page. Alright, let's go back to our sign in page, and then we should start working on this component. The first thing I have to let you know now is that our sign in component should have a background image, and now we don't have that background image. So I'll have to put that background image inside this public folder. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, so I just have to drag and drop it into the public folder now, not inside the asset folder, because we are going to be needing this background image. We're not going to be able to like call it from the asset folder, so that's why we need it inside the public folder. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here and say style. This style will be equal to, here I'm going to set the background image, to, I'm going to add the linear gradient. I need that like a black background all over it, so with an opacity or something like that. So that's why I need to get the linear gradient, and then I'm going to pass in RGBA with 0, 0, 0, and then the opacity 0.5. So this is a black background with an opacity of 0.5, and then I'm going to put a comma from this to the same thing, RGBA 0, 0, 0, and 0.5. okay, so that should be the linear gradient. And the next thing I'm going to add is the URL. So I'm going to put a comma and then put the URL of the background image, which is slash background. Let me remove that too, sorry. Slash background underscore banner dot jpg. So that is the name of our image, and then we can close the bracket. So now if I save this and check, Ctrl S and check, nothing is going to show. That is because we haven't added any height. So we can come here and say minimum height of screen, and when I save this, I should see the image there. Yeah, so this is the image I want. And now I can add other classes as well. Give it a bg dash cover, bg dash center, and a background of no repeat, not neutral, no repeat, yeah, that one. And then give it a padding x of 4, in medium screen sizes, a padding in the x direction of 8, and a padding y in the y direction of 5. Then you save this, and yeah, no much changes, but yeah, this is okay. Now inside this div, we are going to have another div. Which is going to have an h1 tag with the title sign in. Ctrl S, and we should have that. Yeah, we can have it, but we can't see it. So for that, we'll have to style this h1 tag a little bit. So we'll give it a class name, and then we'll increase the text to 3XL and a font of medium with a text color of white, and then you add in the margin bottom, of course, of 7. Ctrl S, and let's see. Yeah, this is better. This is really nice. Alright, so the next thing we are going to have is the form. We are going to have the form, and you can add it under this h1 tag here. You add the form tag, and inside the form you are going to have 2 inputs. So I can just come here and say input times 2. Yeah, 2 inputs, one for the username and one for the password. So this one is for the username, a type of text, and then the second one, a type of password. Ctrl S, and let's see. We have 2 inputs now. Yeah, 2 inputs, but as you can see, this is not looking nice, so we have to style the inputs. So for the first one, we have to give this a class name. Give it a full width, and then a height of 50 pixels, h-50 pixels, a background color of bg-333, and a text color of white, rounded, a padding x of 5 and give it a normal sized text dash base. Just like this, you save this, and this is your input field. And then I can also give this a placeholder. I can give it a placeholder of username, just like this. Ctrl S, and let's see. Yeah, we are going to do the same for the password field. So we can just copy all of this, Ctrl C, you come here and paste it. So the placeholder, I'm going to change this to password, and then Ctrl S, and I should have that as well. Yeah, password. But for this one, I think okay, so I think I have to have a space in between them. As you can see, they are joined together. So for that, I'm going to go inside this form component, give it a class name, and then I will make it flex in the direction of column, flex column, and then I'll give it a space in the y direction of 4. Space in the y direction of 4. You save this, and this should be okay. Yeah, I wasn't that space. But if you look at this is looking so spread out, and it's not really looking that nice. So for this, we'll go back to this div here, and we're going to add some we're going to add some styles here. We're going to give it a max width at first of 450 pixels. Ctrl S, and let's see what we've got. Yeah, something like this is what we need, but we want to make it centered. So okay, and then give it a width of full and a BG of black. That should be nice. Yeah, BG of black with a BG opacity of 75, and then we'll make it rounded, and a padding X of 8, padding Y of 14, and MX auto to make it centered. Give it a margin in the X direction of auto and margin top of 8. Ctrl S, and let's see what we've got. Yeah. This looks nice now. This looks nice. Okay. Now under this, we're going to have the sign in button. So under the inputs, we'll go under this input now, and we're going to have a button, and this button is going to just say sign in. And let's see, we have something here, but nothing is showing. So we can just come here and add some stars. This is going to be a type of submit, and then we're going to give this a class name. Give it a full width, which dash full, and then we're going to give it that reddish Netflix color. So we'll give it that E50914, just like this, and then you give it a text color of white and a padding in the y direction of 2. Make it rounded as well, rounded, and then a normal size text dash base, which is 16 pixels. And then when I hover over it, I should reduce the opacity to 90, and then finally cursor pointer. Ctrl S, and let's see what we've got. Yeah, that's filling. This is your username, this is the password, and this is signing. Now the next thing we have to do is to provide a field which is going to say, if you are new to Netflix, you have to go to the sign up to, of course, create an account. So for that, we are going to go under the form, and then we are going to use a div. In this case, use a div, and then you put a p tag saying new to Netflix, and then you add a span saying sign up now, just like this. Ctrl S, and let's see, we are having this. So now we can style this. First off, this div, we're going to give this a class name, margin top of 10, and then text dash hash 737373, just like this, and then text -sm, a small text, Ctrl S, and let's see what we've got. Yeah, better. Now for this p tag here, we're not going to give it any style. We'll go straight to this sign up, stuff, and then we're going to give it a class name, text of white, font that of give it a medium font, and then cursor of pointer with a margin in the left direction of 2, and then when you hover over it, it should be underlined, just like this. Ctrl S, and then yeah, this is nice. So now when I click on this, I should be taken to the sign up page. But how do I do that without wrapping this in a link component? Because all since I've been developing this site, anytime I want to link somewhere, I have to use the link component from React Router. But there's another way. We can use another way to link to the sign up page. We can use the navigate function from React Router. So I can just come here and say const navigate will be equal to what? Use navigate hook from React Router, just like this. And then I can come over here and say on click. When you click on this, on click, you should do what? Navigate to where /sign up. Ctrl S, and then when I come here, why is the image disappearing? Let me save this and let me refresh. So the image just disappeared. I don't know why. Let me check. They're showing me no errors, but my image just disappeared now. So let me get rid of this navigate whatever. Ctrl S, and let's see. Okay, so I think it was from my internet connection, so the image just got back. Alright, so we can add our navigate hook back. So const navigate will be equal to the use navigate hook, just like this. And then we can go over to our sign up function here, our sign up span tag here, and then on click, you pass in the navigate back to where sign up, just like this. Ctrl S, and when I click on this, I should be taken to the sign up page. Yeah, just like that. So now for the sign up page is just exactly like the sign in page. So I'm just going to come here and copy all of this and go to the sign up page and paste it. Make sure you import your use navigate function, your use navigate hook rather. Ctrl S, and you should have the sign in page just like the sign up page. So we just have to make some few changes. First off, the title should not be sign in, it should be sign up, and then the button should not be sign in, it should be sign up. Let's see. Yeah, sign up. Alright, so the next thing, we are going to be needing a new input field, which is going to be the email field. So I can just copy this, Ctrl C. After adding your username, you have to add your email for you to be able to sign up. So this is going to be a type of email, and the placeholder should be, let's say, johndoe@gmail.com. Then the name, since you're signing up, it should be more informative, so John Doe, and then the password should just be like enter your password, just like this. Ctrl S, and then instead of this new to Netflix, what we're going to have is already have an account. We're going to come here and just say already have an account, and then we're going to navigate back to you guessed it right, sign in, and then we're not going to come here and say sign up now. Instead, we're going to say sign in now. Ctrl S, and John Doe, this one sign up, already have an account, sign in now. We relocate to sign up, and okay, sign in now. You go back to sign in, and then if you go to sign up now, you can click on, you go back to sign up, sign in, sign up now. Yeah, so this is nice. The next thing we're going to do now is to get the information ready for our backend. So we need to collect their information, and we're going to display it to the console. So to do that, we're going to be using state. We're going to be using state, and we can just start right away. We'll just come under this use navigate hook, and then we'll say const username, comma, set username to be equal to what? Use state, and then you give it an empty string. Sorry. You Ctrl C, you paste it 3 times because we're going to be needing 3 stuff. Then the email, come here and set email, and then password. Then you come here and say what? Set password. Just like this, Ctrl S, and then you can go to your input field where you have your username. You can come here and say the value should be what? Username. And then when it changes, when the input field changes, which we can access by using the onChange event handler, we should get the event.target.value. We should get the value. So we'll say set the username to be what? e.target.value. Just like this. So with this, we have gotten the username. We are going to do the same for the email and the password. So we'll come here, paste this. So the value here should be what? Email. And here, instead of setting the username to the email, we'll come here and set the email to the value of the email. Just get rid of this e. And then for the password, the same thing. We'll come here, the value should be what? Password. And then instead of setting the username to the value of the password, we'll set the password to the value of the password. Just like this. You save this. Now we can test this by just saying console.log username should be username, and then you can go to the next line /n, and then you say email should be what? Email, and then you can go to the next line, and password should be equal to the password. Ctrl S, and let's check this out. So as you can see, the email, the username, email, and password is empty. But if I start typing, let me type my name, Emmanuel. As you can see, it is ready. And then the password, if I say azibo@gmail.com, you can see it's all typing. And then my password, if I say 1 2 3 4 5 6, yeah. So which means that our information we are able to collect the information from the user through this form. Is working perfectly. The next thing is to do this, of course, for the sign in form as well, and then we're going to connect it to the backend. But for now, let's go to the sign in form, and nothing works if we enter this, so we have to go to the sign in and fix that. So we'll go to the sign in now. Now for the sign in, we just need to, which is the username and the password. So I can just come to the sign up and copy this, come to the sign in page and paste it. Make sure you import the use state from React. We are getting rid of this email. We don't need the email. Go to the input field here, come here, get the value. The value should be set to what? The value should be set to username, and then the onChange function set username to e.target.value, and then I can copy this, Ctrl C, come to my password here, paste it, and then password, instead of set username, change this to what? Set password. Just like this. And then I can come here, to check, I'm going to clean this one for the sign in page, cut it, Ctrl S, and come to the sign in page, and I can paste it here. Now we don't have the email, so I can get rid of the email and just work with only the username and password. So for that, we're in the sign in page now. I can come here, my username, let's say my username is John and my password is test123. You can see it here, it works. Alright, so this is a big milestone achieved. If you don't know, you are able to, just a quick recap of what we have done, you are able to create this this beautiful hero section, this hero banner that is really dynamic. So if I refresh this, I'm going to get a new hero banner. Let's refresh. You see, I've gotten a new hero banner, and when I scroll down, this is fetched from the API. So we have learned how to fetch from an API using the fetch API, and then you can see this slider. This is really nice. You can see the slider, the top rated. This is the now playing, the top rated, the popular, the upcoming, and yeah, when you click on a particular image, you get the information of the image, and you might also like which is recommended of the image. And when you click watch now, you'll be taken to the YouTube page where you can watch the particular image in question. Alright, so and now if you want to get a AI movie pics, which you haven't done yet, you have to sign in. When you click the sign in, you'll be taken to this beautiful sign in page with, as you can see, this image background, and you can enter username and password. Nothing happens, but at least I'll be able to get the user information, and then you have the sign up page as well. So in the next part, we'll be talking on how you can work with Postman. We are going to use MongoDB, Node.js, and Postman for testing the backend functionality. So everything concerning the next part is going to be based on backend. We are not doing anything on front end. We are just going to be in our VS Code from beginning to end. So we are going to be focused on backend, a full backend course. And yeah, so if you have watched up to this extent, just comment next part so that I'll know that yes, I have people that are following, and I'm going to drop the next part by this time, exactly this time next week. Yeah, so next week Friday, expect a new video on the full backend. So take your time and watch this video step by step. Do not rush. Just watch the video step by step, follow the steps, and anything you don't understand, you can write it in the YouTube comment, or you can find my socials in my YouTube description. Yeah, so just find any way to contact me and I will reply you in lightning speed. Alright, so thanks for watching. I really appreciate